So I decided to research some potential clients I could work with to be an active volunteer. Therefore, I decided to contact a local photography studio. I also contacted one of my arts award teachers that was also a leader of a photography club. I also got in contact with a client at Metal because I thought that their organisation, which I previously researched, was very effective, and I thought that their ethos of the brand was actually quite constructive for my Arts Award programme. So for my actual active volunteer, my email to my photography, my Arts Award leader, who was also a photography leader, suggested that I should make a photography club poster, because obviously my main art form was graphics, therefore I should be able to make an effective poster. Therefore I decided to create this poster as a enticement for the year 10s. This took a few hours because obviously I had to test the leading, the header, also the spacing, and also the information was correct and placed appropriately. Overall, I thought this was very effective and adhered to the needs of the email and the brief. I then went on to make a yoga club poster. So I made 2 posters, taking 2 hours roughly each day that I worked on it. So I worked on them for about 2 days, so 2 hours each day, making sure that I was getting the right size, the right information on the page. I decided to make a poster for the deputy head girl who wanted to create an extracurricular activity which was within her manifesto. And I thought that this would be appropriate again because obviously the poster uses my graphical skills, and I just wanted to help the deputy head student that needed some creative flair. So I thought that this was very effective for developing my main art form. I then went on to do a 2-day experience at Metal. So this included like the same sort of activities on both days, because they were running the same workshop each day. But I tested the app each morning, and it was an app used on their iPad using headphones, which helped kids discover different parts via poems and music, which I thought was really important because this engaged the audience very effectively. On reflection, this was a very key point of the pop-up that Metal were hosting, because without this, a lot of kids may have been disinterested and wouldn't have discovered parts of the park if they weren't from around the area, which they could have found quite interesting. We also created examples for the lollipop sticks for a geocache app / treasure hunt, which again helped the kids to connect with nature as well as experiencing different parts of the park. Obviously it created some entertainment because they were finding a new joke each time, and would allow them to be more interactive. We also helped up with that pop-up cafe, collecting plates, teas and coffees, which again shows the more laboured side, I guess, of the art industry, because there is a lot of work put into these pop-ups that go unnoticed. We also helped the Metal Worker page set up the upper area for the Get Your Improv On that was happening after this pop-up. So we also helped out after to make sure that all of what Metal were contributing to was running successfully. I then also got in contact with a YouTuber who again made videos, who obviously edited and live streamed, which obviously is part of the creative arts because they're creating aesthetic videos and they have to create visually pleasing videos for people to click on. And they wanted me to create a new icon for their streaming service, because they thought that the one they had in their profile picture should be created in a different format for people to interact with. So I, again, using my graphic designing skills, designed a logo for their penguin sort of logo thing, which on reflection I think came out very well, and used my editing skills through Photoshop to create an aesthetic image, which I think he was very pleased at when looking back on the feedback. Lastly, the previous logo thing took roughly 6 hours to create, through enhancing either the tone of the design, the colours used, and the line work. Also actually designing the picture itself took a long time. Lastly, I decided to help my coach through editing some game footage, because he wanted to analyse the strengths and the weaknesses of the team. Therefore, I had to use my editing skills through advert making used in my graphics classes to highlight the decision making within the game. I think in reflection this really helped him to discover what the team needed to work on and what they needed to avoid losing, so therefore keep rehearsing and reinforcing. I thought the editing was quite clear, which obviously would help me in my graphic design future, because this would allow me to make clear and blatant advertising structures.